All right, welcome everybody. We are going to talk tonight about time management and organization and some goal setting. I'm just going to mute everybody for now, just so we don't get any background noise, but you can jump in anytime you want and unmute yourself or whatever. But I'm going to screen share with you. I just put together a little PowerPoint of some of the things to talk about. And wait a minute. I don't, there we go. Okay, so slide, present. There we go. Okay. Back to the beginning here. So this is what we're talking about, organization, time management. I don't want to claim to be any kind of expert in this area. It's something that's ongoing, and I feel like I'm learning and trying to get down better myself, but I feel like if we can open the discussion, maybe we can all share, and maybe some of you even have some wonderful ideas to share too, but we can at least open the discussion. That I think for me, some of the things I'm realizing as I go is that I feel like, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there was a part of me that thought, like, once I could get this down, that things would be better or something like that. And what I'm realizing as I go is that it's an ongoing thing. It's sort of like, I don't know why in my head I was just comparing it to like laundry. Like, it's never all done, is it? There's always more to be done. There's always the next thing. So it's about managing it and not about like reaching this day where you're like, I'm finally organized with everything. I finally got all my time managed. I don't think it's ever going to be quite like that, but at least we can try and keep up with it better. And that's kind of what my goal is for tonight, is just to kind of help us try and, contain this idea a little bit more. I don't think that in this call you're going to get like the golden answer, but hopefully there will be some tools to help you move in the direction of organization and management. At least that's my goal. I think with that, I think it makes sense to start when you're thinking about organization, time management. I think it makes very good sense to start with what your actual goals are and defining them. And it's not like a goal like, I want to help people. And you've probably heard these things before, but I'm going to go over them again anyway. It needs to be something way more specific than that, because if it's so broad, not that helping people is not worthwhile, of course it is, but it needs to be something much more specific, especially when we're talking about organization and time management, because if we don't have a specific thing that we're trying to work on or get to, then trying to manage that doesn't even really make sense. What does that mean, help people, or like how many people, or what kind of help, or whatever. So anyways, too broad. So first, I think organization, time management starts with making something specific and making it measurable and making it time bound and all that. So these are some pictures. You probably maybe have seen them before, but I think they're very, very helpful. So I like to go over them again. So in goal setting, the acronym SMART, making it specific, making it measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Now, I think I actually can't see everybody anymore on the call, but the people that I saw on the call were all total in different spots in our business. Some people are just starting out. Some people have been doing this for a while. I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now, and it doesn't matter. We all can set goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. So, for example, maybe like this past week, I think you guys know that we're doing this shake off. Some of you are participating in that. Making a specific goal of how many people you want to invite, making it measurable, making it something attainable. So you're not going to invite, for me anyway, I'm just talking just for me. Everybody's will be different. I'm not just going to invite. I'm going to make a specific goal I want to hit. I'm going to make it measurable. I'm going to say, am I there yet? Am I not there yet? And I'm going to make it something reasonable. So what kind of time do I have to do the inviting? I'm going to make it relevant. I want to invite by a certain date. So kind of the idea is that we don't want to, maybe we do have these big goals, and I love this time of year, maybe you're seeing those dream boards. I love that idea. I love like the big dreaming. I love all that. But this call is not about that, because like those big picture things, like I want a new car, I want a new house, I want a whatever, that's nice. wonderful. Certainly something to have on, posted somewhere that you can see it. But as far as time management and organization, we need to scale those way down so that we can have success. Otherwise, we'll get so frustrated, that we're not getting a new car tomorrow. At least I'm not. And we need to scale it way, way, way down so that we can make our daily and weekly goals much more attainable. And I just learned about this concept not too long ago. You probably have seen it, but it's focusing on each step. And I love the phrase "win the day." I did another call on that. Maybe you're on it or not, but anyway, I just love that phrase because it makes it so that it's not about these huge, broad things that we are shooting. I know I have big goals too, but if I can't make it so that I can win each specific day, then it just gets frustrating and overwhelming. So anyway, so that's kind of the point of this call. And I don't know, I posted about this recently also. So just as a little side example, my son is in first grade and he's learning how to read. And it is really eye-opening and really a learning experience for myself in watching him, because it really is taking the very basics of what all of us adults kind of forget when we have these huge goals in mind for ourselves. So like everybody, he's certainly not unique in this, but just watching him, it's unique to me. He's my oldest son, whatever. That they break it way down, learning how to read. They break it way, way, way down. Of course, in kindergarten, he was learning the alphabet. He was learning to put together a few letters to make a few small words. And then now those few small words are becoming a few small sentences and a few small sentences. And he has to bring home they call it book in a bag in our school. And they bring home a book in a bag that's on his level, that he reads one book every week. He, masters it. He reads each page, same book every single day for one whole week till he masters it, and then he brings home another book and we read the same book over and over and over again until he masters it. And it just, it's such a lesson to us adults that we kind of forget. Like his teacher's goal for him is not for him to read the encyclopedia, the dictionary, whatever. It's broken way, 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 way down into these small daily things so that he can feel like he's winning. And I think that's the same for us. I mean, we have to break down our goals so that we can feel like we're winning. Otherwise, we're going to give up, right? This business is so huge, can be so huge, and can feel so overwhelming and feel so out of control sometimes, that if we don't break it down like that, we're going to give up is kind of the message, I think. Okay, so there we go. So the other thing I want to say before we talk specifics is just really defining our meaning of success. And this has come up for me also recently, because it's hard in our particular upline. We are so blessed to have these incredibly successful leaders gone before us. So as you all know, we're part of the #1 team in all the company with Melanie Mitro. And then right below her, my direct sponsor coach is Alyssa, and she's #8 in the whole company. And it's hard, especially with that upline. It's such a blessing. We have so many resources. They give us so many tools to use, but it's hard not to compare. At least I know for me, growing up with a sister who was close in age to me, I mean, comparing is just, I think, in my blood. And in some ways it helps me become competitive and push myself and whatever, but in other ways it can be detrimental, right? Because we're just not the same as other people. And particularly as adults, our meaning of success is not the same, and where we come from is not the same, and what time we have to put in the business is not the same, and who our potential network of people, it's not the same. So what we need to do is each define our specific meaning of success, and it's going to be completely different from one person to another. Some people have specific financial goals that they want to meet. Some people will have a specific number of people that they want to help. Some people will want to quit their full-time jobs, and other people will not want to quit their full-time jobs, and some people want to stay at home, and some people want to continue, whatever. You get the idea. The definition of success is going to be completely different from one person to another. So keeping along the lines of winning the day, of breaking it into small steps, it's really about putting our blinders on. Of course, we can be happy when there are little successes, and of course, we congratulate each other and all that. But putting our blinders on to really focusing on only being better than who we were yesterday. Did we win the day for ourselves? Did we do something a little bit more than we did the day before? And just kind of knowing, I love the flower one. A flower does not think of competing with the other flower next to it. It just blooms. I love that idea that, you know, each one of us can be successful in our own right, and it has nothing to do with the person next to us. So I just want to throw that out there too, because it just, you know, again, with this successful upline that we have, it's such a blessing, but it's also hard not to, you know, compare ourselves and not think about other people's success. The other thing is Thursdays. I think you all probably know that's when rank advancements are announced. So some Thursdays are really joyful to get on and see what's going on, and other Thursdays it's like I just can't hear about one more person's thing. And I just want you to know that it's okay to measure your success just based on who you were yesterday and what you were doing and what your meaning of success is. Okay, so here we're going to talk a little bit more about specifics. So this is the first tip, I think, for all of us. And when I'm saying this, I again want to just reiterate that I'm not in any way perfect with this, but these are my personal goals for getting myself organized, for keeping my time managed and under control. So setting our hours. I think that maybe, I don't want to actually assume anything, but I hope that maybe people are doing this. Maybe you're working a full-time job, or maybe you aren't, or maybe you have something else going on in your life or whatever, but setting the hours and sticking to them is so, so important. And having time away from social media is also very important. I was just talking with somebody else about this. It really can be an addiction, and not to make light of addictions in any way. It can be like you have to get on Facebook, or you have to check what's going on or whatever, and it really can feel like it gets out of control quickly, especially because Facebook, there's just so much to see, and it's like a combination of addiction and ADHD, right? As we were talking about this in a different call, like it feels kind of like you know, all the little bee-bongs and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, setting your hours is super important, and sticking to that. And we can, even if everybody wants to, we can make our own accountability about what each individual person's hours are. And, you know, that's when we're checking Facebook, and we can call each other out if you're on Facebook when it's not your hours or whatever. So that's one. And then the other is something I found incredibly helpful is to have a little timer. Sometimes I use my phone, but I do have one that looks kind of like that picture there, where I'll set it for 15 minutes just to make sure I'm staying on task with whatever it is that I had set out to do. Because it just, like we all know, Facebook, you don't intend to start watching some cute video somebody posted and then going on to watch something else, and then suddenly, you know, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours have gone by, and you're like, oh shoot, what was I even doing in the first place? So sometimes I set it just to check in with myself. Have I done this? Have I been on task? No? Okay, reset the timer for the next 15 minutes, get right back to whatever I was supposed to be doing, and start again. And that, I find that incredibly helpful. It also helps with my kids, by the way, when I'm like, I need a few more minutes to finish whatever I'm doing. They get the concept of like, I'm going to set the timer, or they'll set the timer for me, and then they'll watch it count down or whatever, and then they'll be like, okay, time's up, and I'm like, okay, you're right, time's up, got to get offline now. So anyway, so I highly recommend that, your phone or whatever. Okay, so these are my actual hands-on tips that I find useful, or other coaches find useful. And these are the things that I'm going to tell you a bunch of them, but my overall point will be whatever you think will work for you, do that. If you don't see something listed here and you've got a system down, use it. And really the idea being, pick something. You're going to hear about a million things, from a couple different ideas from me. If you search on the internet, if you listen to another call, all the things work, and all of them are wonderful, but you got to pick one and go with it. And so try not to get overwhelmed by different ideas, but instead pick something, whatever it is, go forward. If you decide to change it later, that's fine, but pick something. So tracking, it's so important. and something truly I wish I would have done a better job of in the beginning, because now I'm trying to go back and redo some things that I didn't quite track the way I want to now. So develop some method and start doing it. Because you hear from, like, even Melanie, I hear from her and some of the other people, like, when you track things, she tracks everything is what she says. And when you track them, you can really go back and see what's working, what's not working. It takes much, much less time when you're talking to people if you have lists ready and you have ideas of where to go and who they are and whatever. So anyway, so tools. You probably have heard this, the business activity tracker. It's something that Beachbody provides. It's a weekly tracker. They're posted in Inspiration Nation, but I can point them out to you again if you didn't find them there, or maybe after I'm done sharing the PowerPoint, we can find them in case anybody wants to do it. But there are all kinds of things like that. There's power hours and whatever. And so there's tools out there already developed by other coaches. So that's one thing you can use. There's the Beachbody customer tracker, which is also posted in there, which is a way for you to track who your customers are, what they purchased, when they purchased it, all that kind of stuff. Of course, there's Google Docs, and we use those in the groups. We use them for our templates so that we can save time that way by pulling posts out, and you don't have to think of the posts and whatever. This new one, Asana, I just learned about, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's a way to keep everybody, and I'll screen share that one with you after we're done with the PowerPoint. One I forgot to put in here is Evernote, and I can screen share that one with you too. These are the ones that I like. These are online tools that can help organize things and keep track of everybody. And then personally, I've used binders because I like the paper pencil thing. I guess I'm old school that way or whatever, but I try and keep binders on just about every topic, and I'll share those with you a little bit more in a second here. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter which one you pick something and move forward with it. I love this. You can't manage what you don't measure. So if you're kind of floating around out there, it may be because maybe you're not focused on what you're defining your success or having goals. It may also be because maybe things aren't quite being tracked, so you're not sure what's working or what's not working, and this may be a good way to start doing that. So some ideas of things you actually want to track. So, okay, you're on board, you're like, yep, I got my method here. What am I actually tracking? So here are some ideas for you. People who are your client prospects. So of course, this business is entirely, almost exclusively about relationship building, and then products, and then eventually challenge groups, and then eventually coaching and all that. So this is kind of the funnel system that they talk about in marketing. So you have your client prospects. So these are people out there who you think maybe at some point might want to become a client, might want to join a challenge group, whatever. And this could essentially be your entire friend list on Facebook, or maybe it's people not included on Facebook that you're connected to in other ways, whatever. These are all people that are kind of at the, I should have had a picture of a funnel here. I'll add that for next time. But anyway, this is the broadest category that we have. And then the next category down is conversations. So these are people that maybe you've talked about. Maybe you're just starting conversations, not body related. Or maybe these are people that you've mentioned challenge groups to, but they've not joined one or whatever. And then you have clients who've created free accounts with you. So that might be people who joined a free group, or your leads from Facebook or from Beachbody when you get to Emerald and you get Success Club and all that. So free accounts, and then people that have actually purchased something from you. Those are your clients. Maybe they're in a challenge group or something like that. And then you got your coach prospects, and then your coaches. Coach prospects, of course, can come from people who've already bought something, or people that you think would make amazing coaches who maybe didn't buy anything yet. So tracking them, meaning you have some way of remembering who you've talked to, who you're in conversations with, who you've invited to groups, who you can follow up with, and then keeping track of people who already put some level of trust in you by creating a free account. Staying in touch with them, maybe if you're doing newsletters through email, or maybe you're doing free groups, or maybe you just want to include them, or maybe you want to keep inviting them to your next challenge group or whatever. And then staying in touch with all the people that are in your challenge groups now, who've been in your challenge groups in the past. And then coach prospects, meaning like inviting them to business opportunities or the sneak peeks, or talking with them one-on-one, or setting up meetings or whatever. And then, of course, helping your coaches succeed by being part of Coach Basics or push groups or one-on-one calls or whatever it is. Now, this is some of my own system. So when you hit Diamond, there is this strategy called RSVP, and it's not unique to Beachbody. It's actually a network marketing strategy, but they taught us this on a Diamond call and in one of the what do you call it, seminar things that we went to. And basically, if you're not if you're a new coach, all four of these categories don't yet apply, but the top two, the R and the S, apply to everybody in the business. So, so the RSVP stands for basically the four wheels that make your business go forward. And the idea being that you should spend equal time on all four of these wheels. And like a car, if any of the wheels were to fall off or be deflated or whatever, then the car can't run properly. So the first one is R, and that stands for recruiting. And that means basically not only the people that specifically you're thinking of as coaches, but anybody that's bought something from you would be considered part of this recruiting category. So it's taking care of those people, giving them excellent customer service, reaching out to people, and so on. S being sales, meaning anybody that's a prospective person that may buy something at some point. The V means very new people, meaning new coaches that just sign on with you, making sure they get started right, making sure they're connected to Coach Basics and the groups and all that. And the P meaning anybody in your downline, any coach of yours that has a goal. So it doesn't have to be that they want to be the top coach in the company. It could just be that they want to be Emerald by a certain date, or hit SC5, or make $100, or whatever it is. Anybody that has a goal that's working toward it, that's the performers. So what I've actually done personally is, because I love the paper and pencil binder thing, so I made a binder for each of these categories. And just to give you an idea, so in recruiting, the little subheadings that I have for this are anybody who's been invited to a business opportunity call, whether they participated or not, and then all of the people who are discount coaches, all of the people who are my customers, all of the people currently in challenge groups, and all the people who have previously joined challenge groups. Those are the people that I consider my recruits. So they're pretty much anybody who has the potential to become a coach would go in that category. And then, sorry. And then sales, for example, in my binder for that. So how I've personally broken it down is to all the leads that you get through Beachbody, because most of them come through as, not everybody, but a lot of them come through as just having set up a free account. Anybody that's joined a free group, so a free clean eating group or a free fitness group or whatever. I've done some fit clubs, and that's going to be our call next week. So anybody that came to a fit club, I'd have in there. The people that we add to our Go for No group, which is another group, I'm not sure if everybody's aware of that, Grow Your Fitness and Nutrition. So anybody that's basically said no to us, we add to that group. And then some targeted people that I've been having conversations with, or that I think could be my next prospect, stuff like that. So that's kind of an idea of those things. The other two are pretty self-explanatory. So the very new people are the people that just sign on, getting them into Coach Basics, making sure we reach out and talk to them and help connect them. And the performers are the ones that have goals. So maybe that's about one-on-one calls, or doing those push groups, push to Emerald, push to Diamond, so on and so forth. Now, the other point of, so those are kind of the broader things. The other point of organization and time management is having to-do lists. And I am pretty confident that everybody does this, but just to give you an idea of the way I try and organize myself. So I try and on Sundays, I try and make a list. I have like a little form, and I posted in an Inspiration Nation a while ago, and I can point that out if anybody wants that too. But So I just print out this sheet and I put on there what are the groups I'm posting in, and if I'm not posting in them, what are the groups I'm at least checking in. And I check in the groups. I think most of us do. Again, I can't see everybody on the call, but I'm assuming most of us check into the group daily, sometimes twice a day. And if you're not posting, then we're checking in there and whatever. And I try and I have in my recruiting binder, every challenge group gets a new form, and every person that I have in the challenge group, I list out, and I try and check off if they're checking in the group. I try and do one-on-one private messages to all those people. Usually on Sundays, I'll just check in. How did your week go? How's this week looking, coming up, whatever, that kind of thing. So really trying to take care of people who have already put their trust in me to be a part of a group. Then I try and think through what am I inviting people to this week. So we're going to try and come up with a nice schedule for everybody, for ourselves included, where we do one free group a month, which for me, I'm going to rotate between a clean eating group, a fitness group, and then some other kind of group. So what are we inviting people to? Is it a free group this week? Are we inviting people to a challenge group this week? Are we inviting them to a sneak peek for a coaching or a business opportunity or whatever? So I'm trying to think that through at the beginning of the week. Then I want to remember, which groups am I participating in? Am I in the challenge group myself? Am I in a push group myself? I want to check into Inspiration Nation and then some of the other groups that I'm a part of. And then I want to think about relationship building. So who am I reaching out to this week? I certainly want to think about my own workout and Shakeology, keep myself in check, and then what personal development I'm working on. And so if having that written out for you in the form, like I said, I can certainly point you back to that sheet. I think I posted a little while ago. Okay, and then the last thing I want to just say before we can talk about those specific websites that are helpful. But the last thing I want to say is, again, just kind of to reiterate, there are many paths to the top of the mountain, but the view is the same. So in other words, back to the beginning, like, pick a method. Doesn't matter. Pick a method to track what you're doing. Pick a method that will help you stay organized, whether it's online or whether it's paper and pencil. And once you pick it, put your blinders on and go forward with it, because you can always change it, but you have to go forward in some direction. Take action. You know what I mean? So don't just listen to this call and be like, oh, that's nice. Those are nice ideas, and then not do anything. Even if my things that I want to share with you aren't the methods for you, and that no harm done there. Pick your own path up the mountain and go for it. Okay, so let me stop sharing for a minute here. And hi, there you are. Do you guys have questions about that? Or I can go right into sharing with you about all those different things, the Asana and the Google Docs and the Evernote and stuff like that. But do you guys have questions before we do that? Or things that you wanted to talk about before we do those things? No? Okay. All right, so let me go back to screen sharing here. So I'm going to start by sharing the new one, the Asana one that I haven't fully used yet because I'm still setting it up. So this is one that I wish I would have set up earlier, because now to go back, it's taking me some extra time and whatever, but it doesn't matter. I think it's going to be worth it. So Asana, ASANA.com, and maybe it will load here. Let me close some of these other ones. A second. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a great video on this, and I posted it at Inspiration Nation. Another coach kind of talks you through how to get this set up and how she thinks about it. And I'll do just a very brief idea of it here. And if this seems like a fit for you, you can look up in Inspiration Nation, and I'll point it out to you, because her video explains the whole thing, and that's what I'm basing mine on here. So basically, it's this system where you can go through and categorize the people in the categories that I was just telling you about. So your prospects, people you're having conversations with, clients who have made a free account, clients who have purchased something, coach prospects, my personally sponsored coaches, and then I have made some other categories here. But the beauty of this program to me, and then I have my own, you can put other stuff in here too, personal to-do list, whatever. So let's go, for example, into prospects. So these are all the people that are basically on my friend list that I haven't had Beachbody conversations with yet, but maybe I'm going to start, or maybe I'm thinking of another group and I want to go back to them. But the beauty of these groups is that, so you can click on a person and it goes over here. Wait a minute. And let me just move us here. And you can put a little description in. So this person, I might want to put like, this person has 2 kids and she is whatever. I met her at blank and whatever, any little thing I want to remember about her. And then anytime we maybe have a conversation or something like that, I can write it down here in the comments. And then the nice thing about it is, so let's say I decide that I want to invite her to challenge group A coming up on the 15th of the month, whatever. So then I can go in here and click due date, and I can say, okay, I invited her on this day. I'm going to make sure I remember to check back in with her on Thursday. So I would click that, and then so then she would come up on my to-do list in here on Thursday. So when I go over to the to-do list or my inbox for today, then it would pop up this person's name, and then I would see, oh, that's right, I invited her to a group. I want to make sure. So this could be helpful for so many reasons. For follow-up, one, and then and then another is for like your customers when they purchase Shakeology, and you want to be like, I want to make sure I check in with them, 5 days before their Shakeology is going to come due. Here's where you view the to-dos. Anyway, it would come up that you want to check back in with them, and so you don't have to remember that. The other thing you can do is you can tag them, tag the person, and say maybe you want to tag. So my idea for this is I'm going to tag everybody in the group who bought the 21-day fix or something like that, so that when the new 21-day fix comes out, then like the second level 21-day fix comes out, I can go back through and I can pull up all the people I tagged as 21-day fix, and I can send them out a specific invite to, like, saying, hey, you bought that before, I'm so excited, this new one's coming out, whatever. Or you can tag all the people who maybe were in your free group on a certain whatever. So like maybe last month's free group will all have the same tag, so that I can make sure I invite all those people again to the next challenge group or something. The other thing you could do is mark down who has already bought a challenge pack. So you're not going to be able to get the SC from them even if they buy something in the future, whatever. So anyway, it's just, to me, it's this great way of not only tracking, but setting up reminders so that I don't have to feel like I have forgotten people, which I have, and it's an awful feeling when that happens. So that's one tool. Another one is Evernote. And this one is basically like a way to keep track of things that you find will be very helpful, but maybe you don't have a place for them right now. So for example, you can actually literally cut and paste posts that you see that you're like, that's helpful, but I don't need it right this minute. And this is like, a second little brain that you can have floating out there, because you can search for anything. So for example, I'm going to try and do a post later tonight because people were having some success in my group, and I wanted to screenshot their successes. But I for some reason cannot remember in my head how to screenshot. So I put it in here, and I just type up here how to screenshot, and I search for that. And oh, there it is. Okay, good. So this is how I screenshot. But it's not just for those kinds of things, right? So I put in some posts in here about Shakeology. And maybe I want to get that. I'm like, oh, there was that chart that I wanted to make sure I read, whatever. And so this is just kind of like having another brain. And ultimately, what some coaches do is they put all the stuff for new coaches into an Evernote file, and then you can share that with anybody you want. So I could share with you, like, let's say you want to know about whatever, how to get started or whatever. So I can share this whole folder with you, and then and you can have all the tools right there at your fingertips. So this is a really cool thing that I'm trying to get organized a little bit better. But each time you write something, you would write it as a new note, and then you would put it in one of your, you create these folders and you put it in a folder. And just the nice thing about Evernote is that you can search for anything. There are other features to Evernote that I do not use, but if there are any other people that want to speak to any of these that are better, more experts on these, I'm certainly open to hearing all of it, because I'm no expert. Okay, and then Google Docs would be another one, which I think you all are familiar, but just in case you're not. So you go to google.com, and you have to have a Gmail address, so even if you don't, make one up. And then these little square apps, you go to Google Drive, and Google Drive is basically just like having your Word and Excel spreadsheets and all that on the internet, so you can access them from anywhere. You don't have to be sitting at the same computer every time to access them, which is awesome. And you can share them with everybody. So that's the benefit of Google Drive. I'd say the two downsides of Google Docs is that one, you can't search for things the way you can in Evernote. So you can't just type, it'll only do the titles. It won't search within the documents, where Evernote searches within each note. And the other one is that we found it very difficult to upload pictures into the docs, into our templates. So that's the other downside, I'd say. But same idea, you can create these different folders, and you can share things with people, and other people can edit them and all that. I think you guys are familiar, but in case you're not, for example, this is where we house our templates for the different groups. So let's say you wanted to look at the free clean eating group template. And we can all look at this. We can share the link with each other, and you can access this from wherever. So if I'm visiting my parents and I need to post something, I can pull it up on their computer, the Google Docs, and it's really nice. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to stop sharing again here. So tell me more about what you were hoping to get out of this call tonight, and how we can maybe put our heads together to think of more things that would be helpful. I'm going to unmute you all.
I just have a quick question, Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
So have you like moved, because I know like you have a bunch of things in Google Doc as well as Evernote. Have you like moved most of your Google Doc info into your Evernote files, or do you use both of them?
I still use both of them. I don't know. It probably could, but I think we still need Google Docs, because in Evernote you can't edit somebody else's Evernote. So like the templates, I think will have to remain in Google Docs, I think. Okay, but yeah, most of the other stuff, when I save other like posts that people, that I want to save, I put all that into Evernote.
Okay, got it. It seems like the Evernote one is a little bit more user-friendly with like posts and like taking information from like the internet or Facebook or links than Google Doc is, because you have to kind of put it all in like one page.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. One more question. In Asana,
yeah,
is there like a full calendar like you can view and look at, I assume? Like days of the week, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Can you see like the month of December? I'm just thinking like I have like an issue. I need to see like a calendar, and I have like so many calendars everywhere. If I could just get everything in one calendar, one place, it would be wonderful.
Yes, it does. So you can either view it as a list or as a calendar. Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, good. Okay.
So what I did, just so you know, with Asana, what I did was I got all of the people, all of my friends on Facebook. I transferred them. I'm getting good at this, and I can help you if any of you want to do this, because it took me a while. So I'll save you that trouble. I put, what you can do is get all the people listed on Facebook and put them into what is it, Notepad, and then you can transfer them from there into a Google spreadsheet so that it lists them out by name and whatever, first and last name or whatever. And then what I did was I went through and categorized everybody really quickly. I can't say it's perfect, but as best I could with those categories. So prospects, conversations, free, client, purchaser, blah, blah, blah. And then took those and put them into Asana. That's been my method right now. And then what I'm currently doing is going back and trying to take out who was in which groups so that I can tag them and all that kind of stuff. So this is a process that will take me a little while, but I think once they're all in one place, it will be awesome. Because I'm at a point now where I've had conversations with people and I've forgotten that they already bought something, or that they bought not a challenge pack, they only bought one thing or whatever, and it's making me crazy. So I need to have it all together.
Did you categorize them in your Google spreadsheet first before you put them in Asana?
Yeah, so I just used those numbers, the 1 through 6. And I just went through and literally read the name, oh, they're one. Oh, that's right. Oh, you know what I mean? And then you can actually, you know what I mean? You can do the sort by number, you know what I mean? And then have all your your 1 equals prospects, you know what I mean?
Got it. Yes. This is going to be my Christmas break project. I don't know. I gotta get more organized.
I know. It's so hard. But once, I don't know about you guys, but when you get it kind of organized, my brain feels better.
Yeah.
Do you all have things that you might want to share that you find helpful for organizing, or things that you find, you know what I mean, other resources that I don't know about that you're using that maybe other people could benefit from?
I'm a binders girl. I do paper and pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not real computer literate, so I like my paper and pen. I have my calendar hanging on my wall.
Yeah.
I like seeing it all in one place.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I do like that too. Although I cannot have papers separate. I need to have them in a notebook or I lose them. So
that's why I do the binder.
I have many notebooks, but they're not very organized.
One site that I found that my husband's been using for his volleyball team and coaches. So I look at it he's a coach of many coaches, and he's managing lots of people at one time and trying to get out information to lots of people. And they've started using what's called Wigio. I don't know if anyone's run into it. Wiggio. And the nice part about it is it works through email as well. So I've kind of explored if Facebook ever crashes, or if Facebook's not the best way to always run a challenge group, which I sometimes find that I have friends who just aren't on Facebook. So I feel like I can't accept them as a Beachbody. I mean, they could buy a Beachbody challenge pack, but I can't challenge them the way we want. So this actually allows you to create feeds, and you can make a group. And in that group, you can manage things. You can add links. You can have a feed. You can start a conversation. You can add a calendar. You can take a poll. You can message them. You can do a video chat. There's lots of options to actually challenge people or coach through. So I've looked into it, maybe just to kind of have a way to have a challenge group and then get daily email reminders rather than having to go onto Facebook. Because I feel like 95% of society checks their email daily. I don't think that many people check their Facebook daily. So this might just be a way for them to get a daily kind of post reminder of, oh, this is our challenge group. This is what's happening today. And all they have to do, it can get a little messy. You can even do a text, which I don't think I'd ever do that. Really, I wouldn't want to annoy them that far. But it has a lot of options to keep people in one group and then also communicate with them back and forth. So I've even started, like, maybe if I get any new coaches, I've been putting documents that I've created into the folder, and then I've also created a calendar to kind of help them know like what's coming up next. So it's a pretty good option. But again, it has its little drawbacks, and Asana sounds awesome in different ways, and Evernote sounds really good in other ways too. But
Hey, Sarah, with that Wigio thing, because I know like you added me to it and I didn't really look through it yet. I just like accepted. So if you like post on this, let's say there's like 10 coaches in a group or whatever, and you post a message, or let's say it's a challenge group, and post the daily post, it goes to their email, right? And does it also go to like can they go to the Wigio site and read it as well? Like two different.
Yeah, so you can have a setting on there. Like for a while, I was in Mike's coaching group, and there were like 75 coaches that were in that group, and he'd like write a post, and I had a setting where I would get an email notification on every response, and so I was getting like crazy amounts of email. So I had a setting on there, and you can coach people to what setting to put it on, but where I get like at the end of the day, I get an email reminder of all the activity that's kind of happened on that feed.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it gets sent an email for any activity, or actually I've turned off some activity on some of these other groups I'm in because it's just too much. So I have to go to Wigio and check, but that's because I put that setting to that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
That sounds awesome.
it does sound cool.
Yeah, great resource, guys.
Yeah, I think it's just a good option outside of Facebook if you ever want to try a challenge group.
Yeah.
With people you're not friends with Facebook on, or
Yeah, I've heard that too, that email is still kind of king of communication. And you're so right. I mean, who knows with Facebook, sometimes it gets a little scary. I remember one night not too long ago, I couldn't log on, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what will I do if all of my contacts are gone? And you know what I mean? Just that is the one thing about Asana. I don't think you can email from there, which is, I think, a complaint Nadine had about it, or at least, a thought that you had about why you might not pick that one. So yeah, I mean, again, to me, it's about just find something that will work for you, whatever it is, and move forward with it. And don't get too caught up in, there are so many awesome resources.
right.
Pick one and move forward. Is my advice anyway. All right, anybody else have some tips or ideas for staying organized and managing your time? Okay, so why don't we wrap up for tonight? Do any of you, actually, I'm gonna hit stop record now.